morning, Stocktwits Nation. It is a great morning. It is a beautiful morning. It is Monday, May 12th. I'm here as always with Shay Boloor. I'm Katy Perry. Nicky Montana is here, founder of Spot Dog. Guys, how are you feeling today? Shay, I'm going to start with you because I know you didn't sleep much. Let's look at what's going on at the market right now. We have some trade news, and it's sending things into the green. How's it looking over there for you, Shay?
Yeah, so pre-weekend thoughts were like, we're touching the 200-day moving average. You guys are fully aware, like, we got rejected twice in the past week or so alone at that 200-day SMA and SPY and QQQ. I was like, oh, that's not a good sign, because that's not just a technical level in the sand. Like, it is real psychology behind that TA where short squeezes start to cover, and there is like, is this move real or not? Like, that's where the truth is indicated. And over the weekend, we got some really great news from Switzerland. Of course, it's from the Swiss. They have their hands in everything. But the U.S. and China agreed to cut tariffs, dropping from the U.S. side, dropping from 145% to 30%, and from the China side from 125 to 10%. So that's a game changer, just because we now know we have a sandbox of risk to operate in. And not just that, I think even when there was like hints of a deal that were going to be had Saturday morning, the range was supposed to be 50 to 75%. We got 30%. This is drastically better. And even though it's just for 90 days, I think a lot of this earnings cycle that we were just part of, a lot of the input costs for like what their guidances were was higher input costs, lower demand, lower top line due to all the tariff noise. If this is going to become the reality next 3 months, everyone's guidances were offsides conservatively. And that's going to cause a great setup for the next 3 months. So I do think now that we're above the 200-day moving average, let's see how we close, because my say is the open is always emotion, but the close is always the truth. Let's see if we can hold up throughout the rest of the day and we close above those key levels. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm not defensive anymore. It's been the first time in like 2 months I haven't been defensive.
Wow.
This morning. Yeah, so
if you've been watching the show, this is a big update. And Wall Street strategists are calling it a dream scenario. So what a great day for you to join the show for the first time, Nicky. Welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about Spot Dog. And maybe we can get in a little bit about like what all this means for crypto.
100%. So things are looking about as good as they have in at least like a month or so now. Bitcoin's at 103. Obviously, all eyes are there. As those start to fly, my world starts to pick up as well and follow along as more people get greedier and greedier. It flows into the riskier stuff, the memes and the alts. And Spot, we actually just went away from Spot Dog because we got too many people asking what kind of dog food we're selling. So it's now Spot Trading. But it's an app like Robinhood to buy anything in crypto, one tap, buy it from cash, just like you'd expect on the Robinhood app.
Cool.
Yeah, and the last month has been extremely fun. This is the like quote unquote easy mode. All the degenerates are back out in full force. So no complaints.
Yeah, and so tell us a little bit about spot trading. How I know functionality wise, I think most people are familiar with how it works. What was the sort of white space you saw in bringing this product to the market? Obviously, there's a lot of places you can buy different types of assets, but why did you see a need for this company?
Yeah, it was something that always frustrated me, and I'm not like so crypto native, came from San Francisco, like traditional venture, have a venture fund. This was an incubation based on watching a lot of the friends in crypto basically hit 10, 100 X's consistently on stuff I'd never heard about and was impossible for me to buy without having to understand all this type of complexity, gas, bridging. Crypto makes it really hard for anyone, especially like myself, kind of not so technical. So really it was, once I got the understanding, it was about getting like I wanted them to get in the game. I wanted them to like feel that. I came from like a heavy sports betting background, so the whole degeneracy of it all was very natural. And I just felt like more people should be able to get in those opportunities if they wanted to. And so let's make it easier.
Yeah, we were chatting before the show about my bro getting me into it. And I remember when he was telling me how to buy this particular altcoin that he convinced me to buy, he sent me an email and then it had a document attached that was literally 14 pages long with screenshots. Go to this platform, do this. Okay, move it here. And then I'm telling my friends about it, and this document is now like circulated. And I've sent it to people and they're like, I don't like, this is crazy. So I think this was a few years ago. I think I get what you're trying to do there. An interesting background with the sports betting. Shay and I talk about this a lot. I'm curious if you have any thoughts on Robinhood getting into prediction markets, sports betting. They had their earnings recently. I think half of their prediction markets revenue is from sports. What do you think of that move from platforms like Robinhood getting into the game?
It's amazing. Like, it's got to be one of the funnest companies to run at this point, and like the direction they're going and kind of showing everyone is a degenerate. I think Howard Lindzen, Stocktwits, made his first sports bet just because of how easy they made it. And it's such a great product. So I think there's going to be a lot more of that. Obviously, it looks like everything's going to change in the U.S. with perps, and that's arguably the most degenerate way to gamble. We're talking like 50, 100x leverage. It's humongous in the crypto markets. And it looks like it's coming to Robinhood. Like, that'll be in that platform in the next few years.
Yeah, we had Flutter and DraftKings report earnings last week. DraftKings CEO Jason Robbins saying now a majority of the betting is on parlays and live betting. And so it's almost like it's getting more and more real time. And like, I'm not as deep in this as other people, but like, I like the in-game moves because it's like, okay, what's going to happen this next possession? Let's just go for it. And that's what you're seeing. And it's interesting to see how real time these prediction markets are going, where it used to just be you bet on the score and outcome. And now it's what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. It's pretty wild to follow.
Absolutely. Yeah. You get to, you get to feel, excuse me. Sorry.
Oh, good.
Incoming Slack call from the team.
Nice.
No, but yeah, you can get some action. You get to feel something every minute of the game if you want. What's not to like?
Yeah.
I will say the feature you're offering, us degenerates know painfully about live game sports bets. Like, that's where I always lost most amount of money. I was like, they're down 15 in the first quarter. They're gonna cover the spread. They're gonna have a strong second half. Then all of a sudden they have a really weak beginning of the third quarter, and I double down, I triple down, and it just never happens. So it's just it's fun, and it's over a period of time. Like, it was the only way I could like watch sports, and I think that's why Robinhood's doing such a great job on weaponizing degeneracy in a way, because eyeballs are the new currency. So they're legit trying to make as much money as possible with those eyeballs in so many different lanes. And that is a massive TAM expansion. If you're Vlad, for example, why are we just in this brokerage lane for traditional slow moving finance? Like, let's go after the degeneracy. Like, who knows? Next thing we can talk about is more current events. Like, what's Kim Kardashian what's Kim Kardashian's next boyfriend, for example, or stuff like that. Like, you just never know what the next market's gonna be.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I got really into the NFL season. I was laser focused on next possession. Like, is it going to be a punt? Is it going to be a turnover? And like, I love that one. So that you don't even know what's going on really. But it's true. You're watching the game, and it's like, I'm a Bills fan. All of a sudden, I'm like hoping that they punt because maybe. So it's wild, and it's crazy to see those earnings roll in.
Well, that's also another reason why these like legitimate whales want these partnerships with the Robinhoods or whatever platform offers these kind of bets, because it opens the floodgates of new fans. Like, it's the Super Bowl. So many people in your demographic, Katie, like, love the Super Bowl past couple years because of Taylor Swift, for example, or like there's like more secondary entertainment than the actual game. Betting on whatever the halftime show is going to be, the color of the Gatorade pour, or like whatever it might be. Like, it introduces a new fanship to a layer that just wasn't able to be there before. And I think that's why like it's going to be more solidified. It's going to become less degeneracy, just more entertainment. They're probably going to come up with a better word, because degeneracy is, you just think about some divorced father who lost all his money in Atlantic City, for example. But I think there's going to be a better phrase for that. But yeah, it's the future. And Robinhood's capitalizing on it for sure.
Atlantic City is such a sad frame of reference. Yeah, I feel like baseball's got to figure out like a better betting situation. Someone needs to do something there. Let's do a quick turn at the headlines, and because we have a lot to cover. We have 1,300 companies reporting earnings this week, over 1,300, which is nuts. But obviously the markets are surging. U.S. and China, as Shay mentioned, struck a surprise 90-day deal to slash reciprocal tariffs. And that was following weekend talks in Geneva. I love how Switzerland, this is just continues to be their thing. They have the thing they do where they're like, we're Switzerland, and they're ready to go at any given moment. So stocks are rallying, crypto, big sigh of relief. And as I said, a dream scenario for a lot of investors. So futures are jumping almost 4%, S&P 3%, Dow futures gaining 3.1, Europe's up, Hong Kong's up. So as we said, though, 90-day pause, we'll see, but it's a lot better than the scenario we were anticipating. Elsewhere this week, we have CPI data coming in. We got a speech from Powell. There's a lot happening. We're still digesting earnings from last week. And looking ahead to this week, we have a whole other slew of companies reporting. And as you mentioned, Shay, the guidance environment seems like it's going to change a lot. How would you compare companies going into earnings last week versus this week? Do you think there's a race and a scramble to revise any guidance for companies that maybe had their script all written out this weekend? And do you think they're going to go back to the drawing board and change their perspective?
I mean, first off, timing's so effed up for a lot of the companies. It's like if you report the last 2 weeks, you got lucky, because it doesn't matter how much of a crap you reported. Like you're going high tide resolve boats this week, for example. You're up. You're probably going to start feeling that earnings gap down that you experienced. And if you didn't have the luxury of sandbagging your future in this macro chaos that we're in, now your business is at a much bigger spotlight. And I do think that the C-suite, although it's like a 90-day pause, this China-U.S. trade deal, it does give them much more longer of a leash to be a little more aggressive, and that's the perception of the market as well. So like if they have weak guidances and there is somewhat of a deal in place right now, I think there is going to be some heartburn, and there might be some even more of a gap down. So I think that there's going to be somewhat of a revision on guidance. Maybe the commentary isn't going to be that the input costs are too unpredictable in the next near term, so we have to like lean on the conservative side. I think maybe that commentary might be out the door. But this morning we had Money.com. They had a really strong earnings, strong guidance. I don't think we have much this week, but I am a little annoyed because I own Snowflake and CrowdStrike, and those are two of my top 5 positions, and they didn't report earnings this week. So now it's like, great. They're going to catch a major bid to have that earnings print, and now it's probably going to have to be an exceptional print for them to catch a bid. If not, narrative falls price action to go down after an earnings report. Now everyone always thinks like, oh, is the thesis breaking? Is the business struggling because it's down 10% after an earnings? Well, no, just zoom out, look to the left. Like they're catching bids ahead of the time, but people don't do that. So I will, like NVIDIA, for example. I wish NVIDIA reported and got that out the way. Now it's just going to be all fixated on that, and it's. Hopefully I answer. That was a weird way of answering your question, Katie. But
no. So
destination.
No. I was just saying, if you're sitting in like with an IR team, again, you got to what I was getting at, which is like, if you're reporting like this Wednesday and you got all your stuff all ready to go on like Sunday night, you're like, all right, guys, we're good to go. Are you like pissed today, or are you like relieved because you're like, oh, this is good because now we're not going to have like, you know what I mean? Like, is it a relief or are you annoyed?
So the numbers cannot change if you're reporting this week. So there's a whole process of when you submit guidance and the SEC, et cetera. Like a lot of people, like let's just say you're reporting earnings on Thursday. A lot of external people already know what you're going to report today, this morning. Like you can't change that. So there's a structure in place. commentary and verbiage is something you can change. That's the only thing that's getting adjusted. And even stocks reporting next week, those guidances won't change. So I guarantee this week you're going to hear a lot on the earnings call. Like, our guidance is heavily leaned towards the conservative side. That's due to the unpredictability of the tariff rates. However, we are fairly confident that we're going to actually hit the upper end of our range. That last part, we're confident the upper end of our range, that was not there before this earnings cycle. That's what's going to change, and that's kind of what I would suggest in the war room if I was in there, telling them, like, you need to add that color, you're going to be screwed.
Yeah. Nicky, by the way, Shay does a great impression of an IR person. He was doing it right there. Before we get into the rest of the show, we want to play a special message from our sponsor, Grayscale. This is a big week. I mean, Nicky's here, obviously, to kick off the week. Crypto is the name of the game for us this week. So let's see a message from Grayscale, and then we'll get right back to the conversation.
Looking to add a Bitcoin fund to your portfolio? Do it with the Bitcoin Mini Fund from Grayscale, the lowest cost way to get exposure to Bitcoin in your investment account. Just search for fund ticker BTC wherever you invest. The Bitcoin Mini from Grayscale. Think crypto. Invest Grayscale.
All right. So as I said, big week. Oh, still chiming. Love it. Love the drama. Big week for crypto. And that's why it's so great that you're here, Nicky. I have a lot of questions for you as someone who's just building in this space. I want to go back to a little bit around sort of the altcoin rally we saw late 2024 into 2025. And I have friends deeper in this. And, after things started to kind of cool off earlier this year, there was some commentary saying, yeah, altcoins are dead. It's over. What do you think, especially with the relief today, what do you think about that type of sentiment? And I'm curious where you think like the role of these altcoins play in the overall crypto landscape. And it goes back to sort of why you built spot trading. Where do you see them fit within this broader ecosystem and in the Bitcoins of the world?
Yeah, I think for the majority of them, I'd probably agree that they're dead. They were probably just never there to begin with, and a lot of hopium and people really good at telling a story and a narrative. I think that was probably like the last 4-8 years of crypto, and now there's been a humongous switch as VCs have gotten away with pumping valuations in the private markets, dumping on retail as the token goes liquid, and chart after chart, it's like these down only charts from multi-billion-dollar FDVs 2 years into a company that's just like not realistic. Maybe now with AI, but most of these alts didn't have anything behind them. There's probably 30-ish, I'd say, that are worth owning that could be incredible, over this next run, that have a real use case, product market fit, revenue. Some of the revenue numbers are insane, but I'd say, yeah, for the most part, there's a trap somewhere, or gonna step on a landmine with a lot of these. So be careful.
Let's stay there for a second, because Shay and I are, we're educated in this stuff, but we're not as deep in this world. And so sometimes we go to this territory and we're both like, well, we're not experts. So now that you're here, when you talk about, okay, obviously we're not here to give advice or tell you guys what to trade, but when you're looking at this slate of altcoins, you say, okay, this one's product market fit, this one's legit, this one's not. What are some of the criteria that you or someone in your shoes is looking at to separate sort of the hype over here from something that might be legitimate for an investor looking ahead down the future?
Yeah, I think we're lucky because we have a pre-seed, seed stage venture fund. So a lot of these we've been tracking, at least the ones that we're still interested in. A good example is EtherFi. We wrote the first check into them. They hit 33 million ARR in their first year, and it's just a product that people, they've got pull. It's not him going around and pitching something that sounds good. He's also a great storyteller, but it's a product that helps a lot of people. They make a lot of money, and every chart of every new product they're launching, is just up and to the right. The guy's a maniac. So starts with the founders first, and like luckily we have a unique perspective there. But the beauty with most of these alts is if you're not lazy, or if you want it bad enough, you can go on chain. You can see everything. You can see the business. You can see spikes in revenue and customer acquisition, and it's all right there for you to piece together. So depending on how far you want to go, you could filter these out pretty quickly. And then there's some that irrationally will run based on a narrative of, AI and crypto and identity and things like that. I'm sure there'll be a lot more of these things where, you think it's done and it rips 10x, 15x, from highs for no reason and no fundamentals there. So there'll be a combo of those, and I think you want to be exposed to both.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch this play out because even in legislation now, there's that crypto bill or the bipartisan crypto bill that was going through. Now it's sort of up in the air. People talking about the Trump meme coin and sort of like that celebrity angle. But as you're calling out, there's layers to this stuff. And I'm curious. I haven't researched altcoins in a while. Still the case that a lot of these companies are putting out pretty comprehensive white paper information for investors to look to as they want to learn more. And where's the best place for you think investors to learn about and dig into some of these assets?
A lot of places. So I think just starting like on your high level like CoinGecko's, then you can get deeper and deeper with research tools like Delphi or Nansen, and get really into things like TLV, revenue, user growth, and the consumer companies are interesting too. I think that'll be a huge part of this next wave. And obviously, like we're looking around at competitors and seeing what people are doing well and how they've made certain moves. And it's interesting because like you'd pay McKinsey a couple $1 million to go do this if you're a traditional like SaaS company or something. You'll look at competitors and come back, but here it's all on chain, so you can see. Go look at their Twitter. Oh, they launched a referral program here. This is correlated with this spike. So all kinds of stuff like that is visible. And now the kind of LARPing has been exposed enough where it seems to be all about fundamentals. So that's where I think a lot of people will be looking.
Yeah, it is interesting, the 24/7 news cycle of crypto versus going back to earnings. We have these big dumps. And Shay, going back to earnings for this week, I know last week you had a major week. Like a lot of your big dogs were reporting. Anything you're watching this week in particular, either in the context of your portfolio or just things you're interested in looking at as the readouts come out this week?
Yeah, I mean, before also I get to that, I do want to make commentary to as a TradFi guy, like crypto has been holding up crazy well during this pullback, crazy well. And I think it's something that's a really great gut check to even see Bitcoin hitting 105. It's near, was it 4 or 5% from all-time highs? That's craziness when the market is still red for the year and like they're just bouncing above the 200-day moving average. Like that is kind of essentially where you wanted it to be this whole year. And I also do think like altcoins is a really interesting way of like I'm a thematic investor, so I like to view things as 10,000 foot view. I'm not really an altcoin person, but
I thought he was pausing to make like a very big point
of market psychology. So I think that if things are going well, like Bitcoin's about to hit an all-time high, crypto's showing a lot of strength, I feel like altcoins are the best expression of that sentiment. So regarding for this week, I'm looking at the earnings calendar. I don't know if there's something dropping this week in the macro front, but it's pretty thin. I'm looking this afternoon. We have AST Space Mobile. You guys all are aware I'm a big time space czar, or not czar, because that indicates I'm an expert, but I love space.
Big space guy.
And I think that's next. Big space guy. I think it's the next frontier after AI and quantum. ASTS is essentially the American Tower of Space. They're reporting this afternoon. They have partnerships with every single telecom you could think about on Earth. So I don't think much will happen it's not a quarter-to-quarter story. It's a pre-revenue company, so there's probably gonna be some commentary on partnerships, but probably won't move the needle too much. We got C Limited reporting tomorrow morning. That is a very popular ex-US play, Southeast Asia e-commerce giant. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of these ex-US plays kind of lag the market in the near term, because those are the lanes that were catching bids in the past 2 months, where the U.S. versus China debacle, like nobody really wanted to own U.S. assets as much because they just didn't know the input costs for all the risk associated to owning those stocks. So C Limited, Mercado Libre, Spotify, those kind of names caught major bids the past 2 months. I wouldn't be surprised to see some repositioning out of those names towards the lagging alpha names. I mean, high beta names that have been lagging, specifically semiconductor chips. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Astera Labs catch a bid, Broadcom, AMD, like those kind of names. Like, I think they'll probably catch a bid in the near term. I'm curious. I think I didn't check recently, but I think the Chinese market was red last night, which was also surprising. So JD.com is reporting pre-market. I have Alibaba on Thursday. This is why. Some reason when Chinese names report earnings, nothing else really reports with it. I don't know why. Maybe they don't want to anger the East as much as they do already. So like, we'll give you the whole week in the stock market. Like, don't worry about it. You guys got that a week. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but it's kind of a dead-ish week. Oh, we have CoreWeave on Wednesday. You guys all know I'm the biggest CoreWeave bull ever.
He's being sarcastic. Shai's got like an issue with it. Not an issue.
I just think I think it's just they're fronting like a real company, but there's some middleman. It's like GPU middleman. They're your GPU broker essentially. Like, I just don't see them having a real business. But that's actually really harsh. I don't see them having a moat. Let's just say that.
Yeah, no, we just lead into this because Shay was talking about the IPO and he was not very excited about it. And then he came to New York and there's literally a giant CoreWeave billboard like across from his hotel in Times Square. And it's like they knew. It was like quite the... but yeah, we have some random ones. I mean, Topgolf is reporting today. I love watching. That's an interesting one to watch because that's one where even... They've been quite resilient even in the market turbulence because, wealthy people are going to golf. There's also some EV infrastructure companies reporting. So we have Plug Power reporting today. I believe Blink Charging is reporting. Oh, and it looks like Shay Rigetti also, if I'm reading this correctly.
It's a good tier 2
quantum
play if you guys want. Yeah.
What? Spicy. He's like, my earnings are through, and this is like the B squad now.
This is what when the indices are above the 200 moving average, I got to be offensive again. So I'm being very offensive across the board.
I feel like I'm the opposite because I don't have like my Shai's got like a starting 5. Is it how many do you have, Shay? Like that you're like core. It's like 5 to 7.
Oh, my bonsai, yeah, 5. 5
okay.
names are like 55% are poor.
Yeah. Who's your 6th man?
My 6th man, interesting. I honestly Astera Labs, ticker ALAB, like B as in boy. I don't know why they were red after their earnings print last week or 2 weeks ago. I think it was just more of a China-US debacle since it's a semiconductor name. But that's a name that it should be catching a major bid, especially because the AI trade is absolutely back now after this negotiation. Oh, it's up 11% pre-market. Yeah, or now pre-market at open. I do think this is one of those names that's probably going to hit that $100 psych level. It's priced accordingly on a traditional metrics. It's priced cheap if you factor in their growth. I don't love what again, my eyes are going straight to NVIDIA. So I don't love seeing NVIDIA not catch a pretty big bid pre-market at the open. I'm seeing them. I would like for them to kind of fill that, retest that February high at 135 eventually. But I think we're digesting a bit. Like, first off, Amazon is up 8%. When do you see that? That's a slow moving Mag 7 name. Wow, Palantir is about to go red. So this also falls in my theory. Mercado Libre is about to go red as well. There is a repositioning happening from the Q2 winners towards the laggers. I think that's the better phrasing of that. Amazon clearly the lagger amongst Mag 7. Tesla's up 7%. Like, I think there's going to be some profit taking from the clear winners that are kind of somewhat the safe haven towards these like beta names who need to play catch up. So nice to see that. And TTD is up 8% after being up 20% on Friday. So that's a great one.
They reported earnings, right? And they recovered a bit. I think they had a good earnings report. We're going to go back to the stock market, but let's go to crypto for a second, because I don't know if you guys have been following, but Cryptotwits is live, and we're going to show you guys what it looks like. As we were talking about, great resource for all you people in the crypto world. This is a different view within Stocktwits. Obviously, it's focused on crypto. Check it out. Go to your app. Go toggle on the website. Give us feedback. Let us know what you think. And Nicky, high level thoughts on, crypto. We went into like the implications today with the market overall in the green. Are there any major crypto trends or assets even that you're watching closely as we enter the second half of the year here in a couple months?
Yeah, I think a couple of the interesting ones, kind of not directly tied to alt or anything like that, have been what's been going on with companies like Robinhood. Like, they're getting ready to launch a settlement layer, bring equities on chain. You got some of the biggest, or the two biggest acquisitions in crypto just happened in the last few months, including Coinbase, like 2.9 or 8 billion acquisition of Deribit, and Stripe acquisition of Bridge for, I think, a little over $1 billion. At the same time, Kraken also getting ready. I think made an acquisition around $1 billion as well too. So, and then Meta's back with a stable coin. They came all the way back. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, everyone's coming around. I think that's been interesting just to see how people are positioning from that standpoint.
Yeah.
But,
and Nicky, I'm curious, you mentioned the fund you're involved in or were involved in. Is that focused specifically on crypto, or are there other pockets of investment opportunities that you also are interested in?
Yeah, so it's not specifically focused on crypto, although it is a big percentage. It's pre-seed, so we're meeting hopefully these, one-of-one technical specimens. They say they're going to do something. Sometimes they start in crypto, go to AI, end up in fusion energy or something. They're just equipped with skills, and we'll forget more about those in one night than I'll ever know. So when you meet those people, a lot of times you just want to back them and help them as much as you can. And yeah, so it ends up in, I would say, deep tech broadly, with a lot of crypto.
Very cool. So yeah, shout out Cryptotwits, everyone who worked on it. This is a big exciting day. And it's also a big exciting day for me. I'm a Knicks fan, so we got a big game coming up. Nicky, are you a Warriors fan, I assume? Are you from the Bay Area?
I am a Warriors fan. I went to my first Knicks game Saturday, though.
Oh.
First time in MSG. It was amazing.
So it was your fault.
Yeah, we left early.
Oh. Shy, you still want my Knicks to lose, so we're both in misery together.
I am so annoyed about the Clippers losing in the West. Just because the playoffs are wide open this year. It's kind of crazy. Like the Cavs, I don't know what's happened in Cleveland. They're turning into like the modern day Hawks, the way they're playing in the playoffs. And Thunder, like, geez, like SGA, Shai Alexander, he got stopped by Russell Westbrook on a key play at the end of the game. Like, Russell's like a decade older than that guy, and he's supposed to be the MVP candidate. And I digress a bit. It's wide open, and there is a world where the Knicks can actually win the championship because there isn't just a clear number one. That's the craziest thing to me, where there could be man, if Lakers somehow made it. Like, I don't like the Lakers, but as an NBA fan, if it was Lakers Knicks in the finals, it would be bonkers.
Yeah,
the type of like finals. I would love to see it.
Dream scenario. I'm a little nervous after the game Saturday, but we'll see. It's always fun to watch these things. Nikki, sometimes Shy and I, we go off topic a little bit, or sometimes we even tie back into the stock market and we compare teams to stocks and things like that because it's all the same. And going back to earnings this week, as I was saying before, Shy's got like his focus. I'm like the other way around. I love these like random pockets of insights we get. So like this is a fun week for me because we have like Simon Property Group, like always interested to hear like what is going on with the malls, commercial real estate. Let's see what else. We have Roblox. Oh no, not Roblox. Let's see. Thursday we've got. Sorry, I'm loading the page.
We got Kava Thursday.
We got Kava there you
Thursday.
Go.
Yeah.
Kava's a good
That's
one.
An interesting one.
Yes.
I love me some Kava for sure. Chipotle is always empty now. Don't know if that's correlated. I also see gambling.com's reporting Thursday morning pre-market. We'll see how much escapism people need from all the headlines and just try to not work their way out of their situation because that's not work, but luck themselves out. But yeah.
There we go. Yeah, gambling.com is interesting because that's it's part of the whole sports e-betting movement, but they don't actually do sports betting. It's a media company. So they have websites and resources for people into sports betting, but they're selling media. So they're almost more like a company in this certain vertical versus a pure play sports betting company. Cooler is interesting too. So I interviewed their CEO a few weeks ago. They basically build exoskeletons for humans. It's like Iron Man stuff. So for like factory workers, even nurses, you physically put on these exoskeletons, and it's pretty crazy. And Shai, speaking of futuristic, when I was in LA, those googly-eyed robots were everywhere. I think I tweeted a video. It like rolled up on me. I thought it was very cute. I tried to pet it. But yeah, this is a novel thing. Like, Nikki, have you seen these out west? These like roving.
I'm Googling as we speak.
Oh wait, okay. They're one company's called Serve and Shy. The other one's like Coco. But in LA, there's just robots delivering food, but they got little googly eyes.
Oh, I have seen those. Amazing.
Yeah, they're kind of cute. But that would in New York that would just never work. Yes. Yeah, I want to find.
I'm gonna in New York. No world it would work. Oh shit, we are lagging a bit. My bad, Katie. If we're over talking, but
oh no, we're good. We're
Keith,
good.
I don't know how this. I don't know, Keith. I don't know how this is possible. I just sent a video in our group chat. I don't know if you can post that somehow or share it. But every week or so, it's next to my gym in West Hollywood. They line up all the Serve robots in the first part of the day. They're all lined up. It's so freaky seeing them. Just all of their eyes just staring, like all at once. Yeah, right here.
Oh yeah. Crazy.
It's the same setup every time. It looks like they're prepping for wars or just like some kind of assembly line.
See, that's a little. When I saw the first one I saw, I was like, I tried to pet it. My friend was like, "Don't touch it." I'm like, "It's cute." But my friend was saying, and I need to verify this. She said it's not all like GPS automated. There's like humans, like a video game, controlling them. Is that? I don't know if you guys heard. That's crazy. I just assumed they were just like fully autonomous, but someone's like sitting at their home basically playing a video game, navigating the robot. So yeah, pretty nuts. I don't think that's coming to New York anytime soon. But very interesting. That's like one of those things you see. Like the first time I was in a Waymo, I was like, okay, I'm living in the future now. Like we're there. Let's take a turn, check in on where we are. A few minutes after opening bell, the Dow is up more than 1,000 points. So definitely relief. Dow up 2.6% right now. S&P up 2.6%. NASDAQ up 3.4%. The VIX is at 19. We had Bassett talking about the tariffs this morning. He's doing the media cycle. He's talking about strategic decoupling with China, which I feel like he stole from what's her face, conscious uncoupling, strategic decoupling. And of course, we have the earnings. We have CPI data coming out. It's just going to be a very interesting week. Breaking news this morning, Fox is announcing a streaming service called Fox One. They're going to launch before the NFL season, so the streaming wars continues to proliferate. I guess I just assumed Fox had streaming, so this might be a new direct-to-consumer streaming service apart from news. So that's happening. And we also have the news of an executive order about to be signed to reduce drug prices. So this has been something bipartisan people have been calling for a while. Looking at pharma stocks, you're seeing Pfizer, Lilly, some of those companies reacting a little bit today. Obviously, they make a lot of money on these drugs. So yeah, a lot's happening. Oh, and we got a new pope. So, I mean, this was like since Friday. I feel like. Yeah, so Shy and I had a bet about who the new pope would be. Shy thought it was going to be Pizza Balla. I thought it was Parolin, and then they picked the dude from Chicago, which is awesome.
Epic.
Yeah, and I'm like very interested in this. His brother is like doing all these press interviews, and he's like normal. Have you guys seen these? Mm-hmm. So his bro's like,
I've
yeah,
seen them,
yeah. They're like, how'd you know? And he's like, oh, we're playing Wordle, and he just stopped responding. It's like, that's the Pope. That's crazy. Let's see what else is going on as we tune into what is going to be a very exciting day in the market. Shai, I'm excited I'm excited to ask you about from like a strategy lens. You're kind of getting out of your defensive crouch. Are you making any moves this week, or what needs to happen? What do you need to see for you to make some trades here?
I made a couple ads actually in the past like 10 minutes. I will say, like, context is everything. You guys hear me being I was defensive. I was raising cash position. Guys, my biggest cash position was 12%. I think that's a lot of people's lows on their portfolios when they're bulled up. Like, I was very in the market still. So I'm very happy about this. But now I'm going to try to deploy my 12% cash position, probably closer to 5. Not right away, not off the bat. Just strategically. And to answer like Katie's question on like what my strategic goggles are during this kind of environment, I think it's really important to not chase this open. Like pre-market, like first off, it's down 1%. Like, yes, up 3.2%, but it's kind of down 1% in 15 minutes. I think that this explosive gap up we saw is great. It probably causes everyone's adrenaline to be pumping, and that was part of the reason why I didn't really rush to buy, because this kind of move isn't about valuation or earnings. It's kind of about fun. It's not about fundamentals catching up. It was about positioning. Fast money once again got caught off sides. Hedges are unwinding. Algos are now racing to reprice policy clarity, and this kind of rally feels like there's going to be substantial opportunity in the medium and long term, but more often than not, it's going to be somewhat tricky in the media. It's going to be some potential bait. And that's why I didn't want to chase in the open. That's why I've seen this movie before where it feels like a breakout in the mornings often feels like a trap by the close. And emotional entries also make rational exits impossible, because when the whole world is buying at the same time, which when the keys are up 4% pre-market kind of symbolizes that, like someone becomes liquidity, and I refuse to be that person, and you guys should all refuse to be that liquidity as well. So like, I think this is what matters. QQQ is up 3%. The 200-day moving average is at 491. It's trading at 503. That is 2.5% above the 200-day moving average. I think we're going to hold this move. If we give up the 200-day moving average, this is so alarming. I don't think we're going to get there, so I don't even want to comment on that. That would just be a no bueno situation. So I do think that if we hold above, we're going to be talking about a structural shift in trend, a green light for the risk on. And that's when the tape really opens up, because there's so much money right now sitting in gold and cash that there's going to be a floodgate of infusion into the capital markets. And I do think that's where the real entries will come, and that's kind of what confirmation is going to look like. As long as we hold above this key level, it's going to be very structural up to the right, probably into the summer months. I don't think we'll hit all-time highs because there's still going to be somewhat of choppiness. It's not like what it was pre-tariff war. There's still tariffs, guys. Like, don't act like there isn't. Like, there's still something there that's going to be somewhat of an anchor. But this is a much better place than we were 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
So nice to see.
Yeah, Nikki, I want to get your take too, because Shay and I have been talking about like paralysis with this week. The uncertainty really kind of blocking deal making, whether that's in the public markets, making corp dev decisions, or the private markets. As someone who's in venture capital, is the paralysis still a little bit there? Because as we talked about, it's a 90-day pause. Like, anything can happen. Like, literally anything can happen. But what have you been experiencing on that side of your business, and what do you think could change as the tariff pressures potentially lessen a bit?
Yeah, it like as early as we are, we're pretty insulated and are lucky to not think about macro. I don't know anything about macro, so I love hearing from you guys and trying to understand and make my bets on the liquid side when I hear things are about to fly. For venture, the rounds have been crazy everywhere. So I lived in Israel for 2 years. All my friends there, I'm going back in a week. All my friends there are telling me about the cyber, seed deal flow right now, and everything's like 8 to 10 mil on 30 million pre, or just these wild rounds where what are you gonna do with all that money? They basically don't have anything but are raising their hand saying they're gonna do AI security. In San Francisco, it's basically starting at 80 to 100 post on a lot of these, more hypey or second repeat founder deals. So it's definitely people are thinking they're going to make a lot of money on AI, and I'm sure they will. You're seeing Cursor, Windsurf, some of these, wrapper / VS Code forks, where a year ago people said, the app layer is going to be worth nothing. Now it's back on in the biggest way possible. Guys are starting companies and hitting, 10, 20, $50 million ARR like within the first year. So that's getting priced in. There's like almost no cheap deals, especially right now. And that's more the AI side. On the crypto side, obviously it's a lot less frothy right now. But as Bitcoin continues to inch up, it'll come right back there as well.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It is interesting to see where money is flowing right now. I work with a company that's basically building a DocuSign competitor, but it's like AI enabled, and they just announced a $7.2 million seed round last week. So some of these rounds are just getting bigger earlier. And to your point, the AI layer on almost anything makes something interesting. Whereas, I was telling you guys before, I'm at SaaSter this week, a SaaS conference. So I look forward to bringing back some findings from the event there. But the AI layer, the wrapper on anything, makes it very interesting. So
I will say, I'd be buying boats if I was at that SaaS conference, because there's a freaking AI tsunami coming for all those companies. So
wait,
it's gotta be a little depressing.
Keep going with that. Extrapolate.
No, I think I've been very open. Like, I'm a big time AI thematic bull, guys. Like, you guys know this, but I'm not delusional. There's going to be a consolidation that we've never seen before in the software space. Like, I don't think software is dead, but I think, first off, like, I can't believe that company you just mentioned is raising funds for a DocuSign competitor when that's a commodity of a product. But it shows a lens of, it's very easy to duplicate products now using AI tools. It's becoming like Datadog, for example. You guys knew I was a big bull on Datadog a couple years ago. I've turned bearish in the past year alone. Why is that? An AI agent can do 80% of what Datadog offers, which is observability on preventing clients from overspending on the cloud. That's essentially what they do. An AI agent can do 80% of that. So why pay up for Datadog's offering? This is the symbolism of this AI tsunami that's coming, where all these products are going to get duplicated at 70 to 80% of good enough. And that's going to be okay if you just add that into some existing ecosystem from a bigger player. That if you're a name that has an infrastructure in place that can't get replicated,
He
not
was
just
pausing
the
for like
code in a
3
product
seconds
that can get
before and was
duplicated,
coming back. But this
actual-
time, oh, here he is.
Oh, was I glitching out?
You paused, you glitched a little, but keep going.
Oh, good.
We
Yeah, so
endure.
if you're a company with actual infrastructure that can't get duplicated from like your code being replicated in a different product, you'll do just fine. Think AWS, think Cloudflare, think Axon, think CrowdStrike. Like these kind of names will Snowflake, for example. Snowflake is duopoly in what they do. They'll do just fine. But the AI applications that are just products, don't really have infrastructure. Those are the first to sink in the AI tsunami coming. And I think a lot of these software companies, probably at the SaaS TR event that you're at, they're probably just application companies that are just trying to sell like in the immediate. They're going to look like AI winners because high tide raises all boats in the immediate until that tsunami hits, where now capitalism becomes even more brutal because everyone's going to see reacceleration on top line, margin expansion opportunity right away from AI. But once you have to scale after the first phase, that's when it becomes difficult, and that's when you're going to see the real winners and losers. And I think 90+% of software names will be losers in 10 years.
Yeah.
And they're going to go the private equity route.
One where my brain goes with that, so Shai, we talked about this, is like with the agentic AI layer, like we were talking about with ServiceNow or Salesforce, whatever it is, don't you still need the underlying software for the AI agent to work within? Like you still need that core business. So I guess what you're saying is the development cycles with AI are so much quicker that it's easier to just spin off these products, which is true. But you still got to go to market and like win customers over. And so that's going to be interesting too. You can clone DocuSign or whatever you want in a day. You still got to go acquire users and make money off them. So the software thing's interesting. Do you think I guess, am I thinking about this wrong? With agentic AI, they still need to have that software they're working within to be effective, right? So is software going away, or is it just like the direct users changing from a human to an agent?
So I think, for example, like I make this comment all the time, like I think SMBs are going to explode in the next 5 years, like 100x, because I can just create a company overnight with my AI agent running it. But to go off of your point, like yes, you need to have an actual product that fits a niche in the new digital economy we're about to enter. But a lot of these software names, they're just add-ons across surrounding an ecosystem of the actual product. So that product itself, by itself, is going to be like necessary in the future. But all the add-ons, if you're a CTO, like, oh, I need observability, I need some kind of CRM, I need some kind of DevOps tool, I need some kind of collaboration tool. Like, I need to go buy Monday.com, I need to go buy Atlassian, I need to go buy Datadog, and you've got all these software companies just to go around the premier bread and butter product. That's going to get removed. So that's the issue, because that's just like, I don't want to deal with vendors. Like, I don't want to deal with salesmen trying to upsell me. I don't want to deal with all these like, you like this module? You should probably add these 2 or 3 additional modules because it's going to help your case. Like those days, like I think that's annoying for a CTO, especially when you have to deal with 10 vendors a month. That sucks. They're going to create their own agentic AI world around their product, and they'll do just fine. And they probably have to. It's not going to happen in the next year. I'm saying next like decade. It's going to start surfacing. It's going to become more of a reality. And this is before even quantum comes to play, where compute's going to have no ceiling, and we'll see from there.
Yeah. Speaking of taking it full circle, I've just shared a tweet with our producer. Did you see all the memes about Pat Spencer? And he looks like he wants to sell me SaaS software. There's a couple NBA players that it's like, this guy will be at SaaStr potentially. Pat Spencer might be there trying to upsell me some software. But there's always there's another guy too. I forgot the other guy's name. Oh, the original tweet. Pat Spencer is a Michael Jordan of TJ McConnell's. I don't know why this is like the specific genre of tech joke that just like sends me flying into the universe. But yeah, Shay, I look forward to, I'm going to go to some booths this week and just start cornering people and be like, yo, what's your moat? Are you just a rapper? What are you doing here? and I'll report back. I'm going to put the pressure on.
First off, you should make your own T-shirt and wear that T-shirt while you're walking around that conference.
What, the Pat Spencer shirt?
No, just what's your moat?
Oh, what's your moat? We have a few things that we should just start making some merch. That's a good one. I mean, that's a good one, like on a date too. Just someone sitting there, like about to take a sip of their drink, and you're like, "So, what's your moat?"
Oh my god, you just gave me an idea. You guys are fully aware. I'm getting married this year, and my vows are gonna be like, all right, honey, your moat to me is your compassion. I love the way you do it.
Your vows are gonna be like, oh my god, I'm catching a bid today. This is gonna be great. Oh man, Nicky, I want to give you the final word. I mean, you were here on we hit a lot of topics today. I appreciate your patience. There was a lot going on, but really excited to have you here on the launch of Cryptotwits. Any specific words of wisdom for crypto investors, or even places they can learn more about you, the company, where people can follow you? I'll let you have the final say here.
Yeah, spottrading.com. Would love to have you there. Try it out. Give us some feedback. I'm sure we'll do a lot with Stocktwits, Cryptotwits, excuse me, and have some awesome rewards to get people going. And yeah, I guess for one bet on the meme coin market, I would stick Fartcoin. I think we're gonna see all-time highs. If things keep trending.
All right. Well, there you have it. And also, stay the hell away from Madison Square Garden, please, sir. And that's it for today, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. As you know, there's a lot going on. So 9 a.m. Eastern, Monday to Thursday. Shay and I are here every day, sometimes with special guests. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining.